Authoring and Design. I'm Paul Ascenti with Adobe Research, and I'm going to be giving the opening remarks. So the question, what is this workshop for? And I think in one sentence, it's that in this workshop, we want to look at the intersection of artificial intelligence and design. And in specific, how can tools and applications use the content of what is being authored to assist and automate the design of what's being authored? And so for an example, let's say, so there are many dimensions to this. So just a few could be, we could recommend backgrounds for creations, we could recommend fonts, we could recommend layouts for the text, we could do emphasis recommendation. So as an example, let's say some user wants to create something that says happy birthday. So if we can understand the text for happy birthday, then the system could automatically suggest this background to use. And let's say the user decides they like this background, then based on the background, they could make some further recommendations. So they could recommend where the text could be placed by understanding the background and where the free space is. They could understand the colors in the background and suggest a color that goes harmoniously with the design, with the background, and that is appropriate. And by understanding the text of happy birthday, they could recommend an appropriate font, like this script font. And just sort of as an example of how this can all go wrong, here's another design based on the same background that chose an inappropriate text layout, an inappropriate font, and a color that doesn't go with the background and that isn't particularly distinguishable from the background. So by understanding the content that's being authored, the system can automate the design of what's being authored. So here's another example. Let's say you wanted to make a social media posting that, for the quote, "Luck is a matter of preparation, meeting opportunity." Now, the left one is a pretty reasonable layout. It emphasizes the words. If you can imagine somebody reading it, they would probably say, "Luck is a matter of participation, meeting opportunity." So it's emphasizing the words that you would emphasize if you were reading it. And it's not just a matter of simple things like parts of speech, because matter is a noun just like the other nouns, but it's less important than the other nouns. And meeting is a verb. You might think meeting is very important, and you could imagine one that emphasized meeting. But on the right is another layout that you might recommend, and this one is based just solely on the geometry of the word lengths. So the result here is that the emphasis on this is mostly on the word of, and maybe secondly on matter and meeting, and least on the words that probably are the most important: luck, preparation, and opportunity. So by understanding the content, we can suggest a layout automatically. So I would like to introduce the co-chairs of our workshop. Most important is Reza Shirani, who did the bulk of the work of organizing this and who deserves most of the credit for it. And Tamar is also in the Ritual Lab at the University of Houston. Then the rest of us are at Adobe Research: Frank, Nadim, Jose, and myself. This is a quick overview of our schedule, and all of these times are in Pacific time. So right after I finish my remarks, we'll have a keynote by Aaron Hertzman, short break, then a set of 3 presentation papers, a lunch break, another keynote by Elizabeth F. Churchill, and then a discussion of the shared task for this workshop, and with an overview and some presentations from the people who participated. And finally, our closing keynote by Gerald DeMela. I would also like to just make sure that in case you're having any difficulty, that you know how to get to the Rocket chat for our conference. And so what you want to do is on the AAAI virtual conference website, you go to the workshop under events and scroll down, we're workshop 7. And if you click on this button, you will get our Rocket chat, and you can log in for this, and we can have the chat for the workshop.